Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Magick Witchcraft and Occultism. This is episode 12, part 4 on Prophetic Dreams. Here is this week's cheat sheet. So if you want to just jump to something, feel free. Now, this episode is late because I posted it and then had to take it down because I realized I'd made a big mistake. I try to pride myself on giving all of you very good, usable, and applicable information, and I'm not going to rush these videos just to create as many as I can for subscribers and viewers. I want the information I give you to always be the very best I can provide for you. So please forgive this video being so late. Now, before we begin, let's roll the intro.
What is magic? Magic is the hidden knowledge of the ages, just waiting to be discovered by those of us willing to dedicate decades of our lives to unlocking these ancient secrets. Let the lessons begin.
Now, let us begin. Our first topic is prophetic dreams themselves. A prophetic dream falls into the domain of the universal consciousness. These prophetic dreams are almost always a gift to an individual from their higher power, regardless of how you, an individual, may personally define that. Now, to put this into some perspective for you, if you believed in the Christian faith, you are more than likely going to see an angel or perhaps a saint. If you believed in the Hindu faith, you are more than likely going to see the god Brahman, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, or Shiva, the destroyer. Or if you were a Buddhist, you may receive a prophetic dream from either Siddhartha or another wise monk that was able to achieve enlightenment and pass through the eye of the needle to reach nirvana. Now, a normal prophetic dream, if that can even be said about a prophetic dream at all, as each prophetic dream is such an incredibly rare and unique experience, it's truly second to none. Now, regardless of the path, the philosophy, the faith, or the religion a believer is a part of, these prophetic dreams are normally and nearly exclusive way a deity will directly intervene in the life of one of their worshippers. Now, for the most part, to give a little perspective here, the most predominant way a deity will intervene on behalf of one of their worshippers is usually in a subtle way that is not usually noticed unless you are very accustomed to seeing the subtle signs of the divine in action. From a theologian's perspective, as a general rule, prophetic dreams are given as a gift from a higher power. As I said before, from either a monotheistic or from any number of different polytheistic deities from any number of different pantheons. Prophetic dreams are always given for one of three reasons. They serve either as a message or a mission, and sometimes they serve as both simultaneously. Either way, a prophetic dream is reserved for an individual if their deity believes they are worthy or ready to receive such a momentous gift. When a prophetic dream is given to a person, usually it's to redirect them back onto a positive path. This can be seen as a message, but in truth it's closer to a small miracle. Prophetic dreams are given to those people who earnestly and deeply require one the very most, for those people that are teetering on the very edge of either survival as they are on a destructive path, or their belief in the faith is wavering, and all they need is a sign, even a small sign, of something that is meant for them that they will easily be able to recognize. When a person has been chosen to receive a prophetic dream, prophetic dreams is one of the most important ways a worshiper of a faith will know their higher power is watching over them and cares for them and their well-being. For these people, a prophetic dream can provide either guidance, or it is the closest thing to proof that can be seen outside of a miracle seen en masse. But a prophetic dream can be seen as a miracle on an individual level of the divine's existence to an individual. That is enough to change them at a very core level, and that may put them back on a path of salvation. This gift will absolutely, without doubt, change a person receiving the prophetic dream and completely change them at a core level. Completely change the course of a person's life. Normally this change is in a positive way that cannot even imagine or understand at the time. Now, for the truly devout and loyal to the faith all of their lives, they are very unlikely to receive a prophetic dream from whichever deity they believe in. This is to give you some perspective on how truly rare it is to receive a prophetic dream. A god or gods will give you exactly what you need, but not exactly what you want or you deserve. In my many years of studying magic and the occult, there are few things I have personally come across that are more rare than a prophetic dream. If you're truly lucky enough to experience even one or two prophetic dreams in an entire lifetime, that could be considered a lot. I hope this also illustrates why your dream key will be of little to no use when it comes to understanding a prophetic dream, as your your dream key is only meant to be used to help you understand symbols and other characters of people that represent different aspects or different things in your life. That is meant to help decipher your normal dreams about the present and your concerns for life in the future. As you can now see why a prophetic dream is concerned with the universal consciousness and why they are uniquely different from your normal abstract dreams, which are connected to either the higher self or the superconscious mind. Now we move on to exceptions to the rule. Now, please note I said prophetic dreams are almost always a gift to an individual from their higher power. There are 3 exceptions to this rule. All 3 of these exceptions are rare in the extreme. I'm only including them for thoroughness. When you receive a prophetic dream that does not directly come from a god, gods, or from the faith you worship, it is because of one of 3 very specific reasons. Number 1 is what I call the calling. A lesser spirit, or what some may consider to be a lesser deity, such as a spirit of nature or the forest or a river, may reach out and touch the mind of a lumberjack that's going to try to cut down a forest, or an engineer who's going to dam a river, and by doing so, they would sever the connection of the spirit that connects them to the land of the living or the earthly realm. The second exception to the rule is what is known as a false prophetic dream. There are times under very specific circumstances when a person can receive a false prophetic dream. This is most commonly occurs to the most faithful, as they have little to no defense against this kind of attack. This is an insidious way that a malevolent supernatural entity can insert influence on a devout follower of the faith and divert them from their alignment or from their chosen path. The third exception to the rule is what is known as a dark prophetic dream, and it's different from a false prophetic dream. Now, as I said before, prophetic dreams are almost always a gift to an individual from their higher power, and they are almost always. Dark prophetic dreams can be seen as the truest exception to this rule in several different ways. Now, I will go into greater detail on a dark prophetic dream in the next part in this series, but for now, I just want to give you a baseline of reliable information to work off of that will apply to all prophetic dreams and dark prophetic dreams in equal measure, but I want to go over all of this information first. Now we move on to the pattern of prophetic dreams. Normally, prophetic dreams will follow a specific pattern that seems to be universal to all prophetic dreams. They will almost always line up with an individual's religious or spiritual beliefs that they either grew up with as a child or believe in as an adult. Also, prophetic dreams can appear to you in the form that will best suit your mind, so your mind is able to grasp and understand the message the higher power is trying to convey to you through the prophetic dream. Then an individual is transported to what can be described as a pocket dimension, and then the individual will be in the presence of some kind of supernatural presence. They will either give an individual a message or a mission, which can be either direct or vague, simple or complex. This message or mission is occasionally accompanied by a powerful vision of a possible future event that could occur if corrective actions are not taken to prevent a very likely future outcome. This message or mission can be seen as either from a first-person or a third-person perspective. A first-person perspective is when you are seeing something happen before your very eyes, and a third-person perspective meaning you are watching event take place outside of yourself, or it could also be a mixture of the two, either a first and third person perspective. Prophetic dreams are also uniquely different from a normal dream because you will never forget a prophetic dream down to the absolute smallest detail. Another important difference is you can feel temperature as well as other physical sensations extending anywhere from pleasure to pain. This vision can range from seeing heaven, purgatory, or hell. It can show you all the experiences and decisions of your life that have led you to this very moment and where they will continue to lead you to the future. This can change the course of an individual's life and affect a person right down to their core level of their very soul. As this can change an individual in a deeply and profound life-changing way, this change is usually in a positive way and will have long-term benefits. To say this event is a powerful experience is to underestimate the monumental significance of it. Now we move on to a message or a mission. Now, just in case my explanation was too vague or not specific enough, I will give you 2 examples of how a supernatural entity can give you a message or a mission that will leave no room for misunderstanding. The first explanation is a message. The second explanation is a mission. Number 1. If an individual receives a prophetic dream from a supernatural higher power, that entity can give an individual a specific message that can be accompanied by a powerful vision. The best example is illustrated in the Christmas story of Ebenezer Scrooge, where Ebenezer meets the spirits of past, present, and future, and at the end of the story, Ebenezer Scrooge has an existential realization of his life decisions and actions, and from that night forth, he is a completely changed man. Before he was obsessed with greed and gluttony, he then had a spiritual metamorphosis where he gained temperance and charity in his heart, as well as in his soul, wielded through the spirit manifested in his physical actions. The second example is when an individual receives a prophetic dream from a supernatural higher power, and that entity can give an individual a specific mission that can be accompanied by a powerful vision. The best example of that can be illustrated in the story of King Arthur. In the story of King Arthur, Merlin is given a prophetic dream from the Lady of the Lake that Camelot will be in some type of great danger in the future, and he has to travel to find a knight of the highest caliber to protect the realm of Camelot and King Arthur's wife Guinevere. Merlin travels and finds Lancelot with his wife and his son, and Merlin tells Lancelot of his quest and his vision. Lancelot agrees to return with Merlin to Camelot, and Lancelot is meant to protect Guinevere, which he does, but he also falls in love with her and creates the exact set of circumstances Camelot needs to fall. At the end of the story, Merlin takes the sword Excalibur back to the Lady of the Lake for safekeeping, and he asks, why did Camelot have to fall? Why did this happen? I did as you instructed me to do, it. The Lady of the Lake tells Merlin he chose incorrectly when he chose Lancelot. Merlin was supposed to choose Lancelot's son, which would have seen Guinevere as his mother, not his lover. This is an example of how a prophetic dream can give a direct mission that is complicated with vague instructions to complete a mission and receive a preferred outcome is dubious at best. Where the answer to the question lies in an individual, they will need to use foresight and also have to have exercise the use of discernment of their actions, which can either prevent or bring about the outcome you were trying to stop in the very first place. Now that I've given you an example of a message through a prophetic dream and a mission, now I will give you one last example of the combination of the two. My third and final example. The reason why someone may have been given a prophetic dream by a god or gods may be for a purpose that may not necessarily be directly apparent to the individual. What may have appeared to be a message may actually be a mission in disguise. When an individual has been chosen for a specific mission, this mission may have an actual endpoint, but it's just as likely that there is no endpoint. This could be something for you to strive to for your entire life, but never actually achieve. The purpose of this mission could be simpler than you realize. It could be as simple as just to inspire and help others along the way, while one or several of those people will have a different mission or purpose, while a gods or gods can use you as a conduit to help deliver a message, to help prepare the mind of a different individual for a different mission that they have prepared specifically for them, that they will only be ready for after they have met you or may have been inspired by you in some way. Prophetic dreams are powerful, and they can be used to help others just by telling the story of your encounter. That could be enough. That could be what they need. Something that is so small that you might tell someone in passing that could have had such a significant impact on their lives, and you would never even know. Just by telling the story could be the purpose of your mission from your prophetic dream was meant to merely help and prepare someone else to be ready to receive their prophetic dream. When it comes to the gods, who can really say for sure? And this concludes episode 12, part 4. Next episode will be on dark prophetic dreams, and being that this episode took ridiculously long to produce, I'm not necessarily sure when the next one's going to come out, but I'm going to try to get it to come out as quick as I can after this one because I'm trying to finish this series. So, as always, I wish you all the very best of luck with your research and go in peace.